Once again, I'm Naila Abdi from the platform of Regis School and College. Episode 12. Episode 12 is slightly on a serious note. For past few days, we have been hearing about an incident that happened in an esteemed school of Lahore, and that has given rise to a lot of concern for all educational institutes and leaders. Life for students, certain places like schools and colleges should be safe zones for students, just as their homes are. Harassment is not something we expect our students to face, or even for that matter, our teachers to face. So today's episode is about harassment in educational institutes. कुछ ऐसा पहले तक हम इस हरासमेंट को, जिसको हम सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट भी कहते हैं, सिर्फ मदरसा से, रिलीजियस स्कूल से कनेक्ट करते थे और बड़े आराम से कह देते थे कि जी वो लोग बड़े जालिम लोग हैं, अनएजुकेटेड हैं शायद, फेनेटिक्स हैं शायद, और इसलिए हो रहा है. एंड देन वी रियलाइज कि ऐसा नहीं है. दिस इज ऑल्सो हैपनिंग इन schools and colleges where children are encouraged to be open about it. With me today is Tuba. Tuba is a psychologist. She also teaches psychology. She deals with students, girls and boys both, who are in their formative teenage years. Today, let's discuss exactly what harassment is. How do we see this harassment? Why does it happen and what can be done to stop it? Ye important hai. This is very important from the point of view of institutes, from the point of view of teachers, from the point of view of parents. Assalamu alaikum, Tuba. Thank you so much for being with us today. If you can introduce yourself a little and then we'll start with our discussion.
Sure. Thank you so much, Naila. First of all, thank you for having me. And what you are doing is amazing. This is, I think, solutions जिसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे. I think this is one of the solutions that you have started. So I'm really, I will appreciate you for that. I am a clinical psychologist by profession. My areas of expertise is that I am a cognitive behavioral therapist, and I have worked as a research associate. I have done many researches. I have been part in the rehabilitation centers. So my expertise in addiction and depression as well. I deal with teenage depression and anxiety. And right now, currently, because I have a son who I have to look for after, because clinical settings demand a lot of time. So I've shifted myself to teaching. So I'm teaching A-level psychology.
How, since you are actually also dealing in depression, I would like to know, how do we describe or how do we define the word harassment?
Okay. I'm very happy that you asked this. I think because the problem here is that the basic concept of harassment isn't clear. Whenever we hear the word harassment or abuse, we usually take it in just the sexual context. I think it's not just that. It's much more than that. There's another word for that called workplace bullying. It comes under that also. And you know, there are different categories to it. It can be power harassment. It can be discriminatory harassment. It can be assault. It can be, making silly comments and all of that. So we need to understand that these all come under harassment. People take it very lightly because first, there's no much awareness about it. They are not facing any repercussions for their actions. They feel like that if someone is minor, making fun of them or passing comments on them is nothing, just we are teasing them. But we need to understand that either in your workplace or you are in an educational setting, you need to understand and you need to know the boundaries. So harassment is something that has, it's a very wider topic. There are many subtopics that we need to cover.
Okay. Tuba, when we describe this, you have very clearly described the word harassment. When we think of educational institutes, be it the madrasas, be it the school, be it the university, how do we see what type of harassment do you think, and what age do you think ये harassment start हो जाती है? किस age से जहाँ पर बच्चे harass होते हैं या बच्चे किसी और को harass करते हैं, एक दूसरे को harass करते हैं, कौन सी age है जहाँ से all this harassment starts?
either you are facing it or you're doing it. Researchers have shown a very shocking result, and that is the age of 2. A child sometimes is victimized at the age of 2 and he becomes a bully at an age of 2. So that's where it all begins. So because when we are talking about a child who is around 2 to 5 years old, their cognitions, their executive functionings are very like a very, kacha clay. We can mold it in a different way. So when they are going in an education setting, if they have done something small and they weren't punished for that positively, not unethically, ethically, if they were punished, they would know their boundaries. They would know what is right, what is wrong. And again, it's not just the educational settings that are responsible for that. If the learning is done at home as well. So, that age, parents, teachers, all they need to work together. So that is a very shocking thing that I also got to know that by the age of 2, it starts.
That means that actual bullying or harassment starts from home. And if a parent, as a parent, if I do not correct my child, if I do not see his behavior or her behavior as harassment, that means कि वो आदत उसके अंदर पुख्ता होती चली जाएगी. He'll become addictive to it, or he'll think that it's power play for him. So
it's mostly power play.
It's mostly power play. And as the child comes to school and he starts working with other children, when it's collaborative learning environment, do you think the teacher's role in this would actually play a very vital role कि उसका ये सारी चीजें खत्म हो जाए and he or she does not have this sort of behavior?
Definitely, they can, because teachers, children will always behave differently at home and in school. There are very rare children who will, behave in a similar way in the both places. Either a child feels more secure at school with the teacher, he or she trusts the teacher more, he or she will be more, alert, more responsive at school. But maybe at home, because of maybe parental relationship or distorted, home, he or she might feel isolated. Actually, bullies, children who are bullies in school, the researchers have proven that at home they are complete opposite. They are actually bullied by the parents, and when they are so much repressed at home, they want to project all that frustration out at someone who they feel is less threatening and minor to them. So then they find the target. So whenever at school, teachers have been trained with the red flags. If they see someone bullying, instead of thinking of why, you need to understand of how this actually came into being. It's not that he was born like this. He wasn't born violent. He's trying to, I believe behaviors are the non-verbal communication, and that's actually the true communication. Sometimes if I'm feeling, अगर हम किसी अपने दोस्त से मिलते हैं और हमें पता है कि वो नॉर्मली कैसे बिहेव करते हैं और हमें लग रहा है कि वो उदास हैं, और हम उनसे पूछें कि आप कैसा फील कर रहे हैं और वो बोलते हैं हाँ हम ठीक हैं, आप फिर पूछते हैं, क्योंकि आपको पता है कि जो नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन वो आपको दे रहा है वो सैडनेस की है, मगर मुंह से वो कह रहा है कि मैं ठीक हूँ, लेकिन आप पूछते रहते हैं क्यों, क्योंकि वो आपको एक नॉन वर्बली कम्युनिकेट कर रहा है कि देयर समथिंग रॉन्ग. So these behaviors also in children are alarming, and teachers should understand that instead of punishing them and being, you can't minus a bullying child with a bully behavior. You need to understand what is going on at home.
That means that there are certain signs. Tuba, but the sad situation is that most of our teachers are not trained for looking at these signs or understanding these signs. But can we actually do something that teachers can see कि कुछ certain signs हैं कि या तो बच्चा bully हो रहा है, harass हो रहा है, या वो किसी को harass कर रहा है? Are there any cognitive signs there that can be seen by the teachers and then can be reported to the committees that you have for child protection, ताकि वो चीज वही खत्म हो जाए and the child does not suffer more? क्योंकि what we understand is कि even if when a child is bullying, तो उसका कोई ना कोई reason है, and that bully also suffers. So what are those signs that can be seen?
If a teacher usually when a child is a victim and being victimized, they are going to behave in a different way, abnormally the way they used to. So teachers can, even if they're not observing them for the whole day, in their writings, they can see their focus in the class. You'll see that they are not alert. They are very much scared. They become very paranoid. They either they'll question a lot or they'll completely become mute. they'll isolate themselves, they start sitting at the back bench, so nobody sees them. You'll see that they have started clinging themselves bodily, उनकी body थोड़ा झुक झुक के चलने लग जाते हैं. तो फिर वो सारी चीजें कि either they are scared or they are depressed. क्योंकि usually ये जो signs हैं, अगर कोई बच्चा bully हो रहा होता है तो वो either anxious होता है, school नहीं आना चाहता, और क्योंकि जबरदस्ती माँ बाप ने भेजा है, वो माँ बाप को बता नहीं सकता क्योंकि वो लोग ट्रस्ट नहीं करेंगे. तो स्कूल आने से वो डिप्रेस होता है, डरा हुआ होता है, बंक करने की कोशिश करता है कि मैं उस क्लास में नहीं जाऊंगा जहां वो बच्चा है जिसने मुझे बुली किया था. These are certain things that teachers can look for, and then first indirectly, not with directive questions, ask and talk to the child about it. Is everything okay? How is everything going on? Instead of मैं बहुत दिनों से देख रही हूँ कि आप उदास हैं, don't direct them, because then वो और threatened feel करेंगे. And if they see kids going for a longer period of time, they should report to either to the principal or whoever is in the leadership role.
अभी तक हम जो बात कर रहे हैं, we are basically talking about younger children, class 1, class 2, even early years के. As the children grow up, क्योंकि sadly, and this is not just in Pakistan, हम हर चीज को अपने मुल्क के हिसाब से रखते हैं और हम उसको blame करते हैं. These cases have been reported all over the world, और ये बच्चे बड़े अरसे तक harassed होते रहते हैं और वो अपने formative teenage years में पहुंच जाते हैं, और वहाँ पर then they are harassed not only by their classmates but also by their teachers. अब when we talk about harassment, जैसे आपने शुरू में कहा कि harassment is not always one sector of harassment. There are so many other ways. Name calling है, body shaming है. उस एज पर पहुंचते पहुंचते टीचर का रोल जो है वो I personally believe बहुत important हो जाता है. क्लासरूम के अंदर उसका interaction, they can see a child not being normal. How do they then address it? क्योंकि अब ये एज बड़ी सेंसिटिव है, ये एज बड़ी खतरनाक है. अगर टीचर ने कोई पर्सनल क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया, बच्चा उसको भी एक अपनी प्राइवेसी में इन्वेजन समझता है. So how do we address this sort of a situation?
If a child, for instance, we are talking about O and A level students, and if we just imagine this a student who has been harassed and been bullied the whole middle school, primary school, when they enter in O level and A level, and this is where the it's not just teacher-centered teaching; it's more of a student-centered. Because then students have to collaborate a lot in this. It's not just like 2 + 2 is 4. They need to bring in ideas. They need to research, put in researchers. They need to present. If a student is saying that, Miss, no matter what, I cannot speak in front of students. I cannot speak in front of my class. So it means that their self-esteem is distorted. Why was it distorted? Was he or she bullied at home? Was he or she bullied? ये इनका पैटर्न बन जाता है, बिकॉज जब बॉडी शेमिंग होती है बचपन से उनको कहा जाता है तुम यू आर लुकिंग फैट, यू आर लुकिंग डार्कर, यू आर लुकिंग योर नोज इज लाइक दिस, तो उनका अपीयरेंस कॉन्शियस हो जाते हैं, उनकी सेल्फ एस्टीम इतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं होती. और जो बुलीज होते हैं वो हर चीज को बहुत लाइटली लेते हैं. वो टास्क में हाँ कर देंगे मगर आपको करके दिखाएंगे नहीं, एफर्ट दिखाएंगे नहीं, बिकॉज उनका एक एटीट्यूड होता है कि नोबडी कैन हार्म अस, वी आर द गॉड ऑफ द प्लेस. ये एक बुली की एक साइकोलॉजी होती है. तो दोनों चीजों की टीचर यहाँ पे बहुत अहम रोल प्ले करता है कि हाउ दे कैन बैलेंस इट in the class, how can they give the opportunities to students slowly and gradually to work on their self-esteem. कभी उनको सिर्फ पेयर वर्क दे दिया, फिर उनको ग्रुप वर्क दे दिया, फिर उनको स्लोली एक दूसरे के साथ बात करने पे थोड़ा एक्टिविटीज पे थ्रू किया, and then standing in front of the class and then working on that.
Tuba, as you said, teacher's role is very important. How important do you think administrative role here is? कितना ज़्यादा administration, school leaders इसके अंदर अपना एक role play कर सकते हैं? Because as I said earlier, that for me, school is a safe zone. जहाँ बच्चा जब सुबह 8 बजे आता है और 2 बजे तक, 3 बजे तक, 4 बजे तक होता है, ये जगह तो उसके लिए इतनी safe होनी चाहिए कि he or she should not be worried or anything. Sadly, they are. So, administration का role में क्या चीजें होनी चाहिए that a school leader looks at and makes sure that things are working more smoothly?
Yeah, I think if for instance, if we go on a road, there are traffic police. They are telling us when to stop, when to go, and when we are not stopping and we are not, following the rules, they let us know what are the consequences. But who tells them what's right and wrong? the one who makes the law. So administration is actually the policy makers, the law providers, because of which the teachers know what to do, because of which teachers know their boundaries, teachers know how open they can be with the child or a student, how, what kind of a communication they can keep within the class and outside the class, even if someone is approaching them through emails, all of that. So when administration is strong enough to build in a policy where teachers know that if we won't follow, we are going to have some consequences that we would face. So I think administration is like the helicopter view of the school. That is what is running the school.
Right. Because you see, I have always had this feeling कि जो problem आ रही होती है ना, वो mainly ये आती है कि we are not ready to listen to these children. When I say we, I mean people in these roles जहाँ पर वो एक office में बैठे होते हैं और उन्हें मालूम है कि बच्चा किसी problem से गुजर रहा है. Sometimes teachers bring in problems that ये बच्चा बहुत disruptive है, ये distract करता है, या ये बहुत quiet है. I don't know what to do, because at the end of the day, teacher has a lot of other things to do. So listening is important. What do you think? What is the magnitude of listening wala part for the school administration? And when I talk about administration, I generally feel it's not the accountant, or it's not the PRO, or it's not the HR manager. It's basically the head of a school who should be listening to them. कितना रोल है तुम्हें लगता है कि हमें सुनना चाहिए बच्चे को?
देखिए, इसमें एक बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग बात मुझे याद आ रही है कि Nelson Mandela, everybody knows he's one of the greatest leaders of. So I was watching his interview and he said a very good thing. The interviewer asked him that how you are such a good leader. So he said that I have learned it from my father. And his father was in charge of a tribal. He used to live in tribes. So he said that I follow two things of my father. That I've always seen that when he was sitting with his team, they used to sit in circle. So nobody knew who the leader is. They all worked as a team. And secondly, my father always talked at the last. He was never the one who started the dialogue. यहाँ पे usually और होता है कि किसी भी workplace, not just educational setting, जो CEO होता है या जो कोई भी admin role में होता है, the highest, वो रूम में घुसता है, वो कहता है कि this is the problem, this is the solution I think it should be. Now you tell me what's right. Now आपने अपना say कह दिया. If someone has a different idea, how will they say it? They can't say you are wrong. So whenever you are in a setting, एक अच्छी group की, एक अच्छी leadership की quality ये है कि nobody should know who the leader is. Everybody is working in a teamwork. And जब आप सबको मौका दे देते हैं बात करने का और आप सुन लेते हैं, इससे दो फायदे हैं. एक तो कि उन लोगों को लगता है कि they are being part of something, they are contributing. And secondly, you can get the time to reflect back on your opinions, on your actions. Maybe someone had a better idea and you had the chance to say, okay, you know what, I had this idea too. Things like that, keeping your superiority, but having others to speak, giving the time as well. So listening is the key. Best leader, good leader is a good listener.
Perfect. I think, I hope that all of us learn कि सुनना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Tuba, sometimes a problem that a child brings in is not a genuine problem. Sometimes it's a reason, for some reason or the other, the child is blaming either the teacher or another student about anything. Harassment हो गया या कोई भी चीज हो गई, वो हमेशा teacher या कोई बड़ा adult जो है वो blame नहीं होता. How do we then, we know कि ये गलत आप बात कर रहा है बच्चा, तो क्या हम उसको directly blame कर दें कि उसको shut up call दे दें कि you should not be saying this, you should not be blaming your teachers, it's badtameezi, it's not done, or should we still, as we were talking about this, still listen and discern कि आखिर क्यों वो बच्चा ये इस तरह की blame game के बारे में सोचता है या सोचती है?
Again, let them speak. Let them, give them the medium. For instance, if a child has something controversial to speak about of a teacher, he or she should know where to go to. For instance, if it's the principal or the headmaster or the headmistress. If they go to them and tell them, Miss, I have something to tell about teacher, can I talk to you alone? So keeping that You already know that there's something that he or she is disturbed about and they want to speak. Let them speak, even if they are giving a very, putting a very high assault on someone else, on a teacher. Here, the leadership role then first listens and then say, how many times have you felt this way with the same teacher? How many times have you felt with the other teachers? Has anyone else in your class felt this way as well? Can you ask them to come and report if they are comfortable? And usually ऐसा होता है कि चूंकि हम जिस एरा में अब जिन बच्चों के साथ काम करें, they are still not enough, but they are bolder, they are more mature, थोड़ा mentally ज़्यादा exposed हैं, they know what is right, what is wrong, digitalized हैं, तो उनके अंदर फिर भी power है to speak up. So बच्चे आके, and usually जब बच्चे ऐसे बोल रहे होते हैं तो leadership को already पता होता है कि कौन सी teachers के साथ ज़्यादा ऐसी चीजें हो रही हैं और किस टीचर्स के साथ नहीं हो रही, और किसी ऐसी टीचर के बारे में रिपोर्ट आ रहा है जिसके बारे में कभी नहीं आया. अगेन, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि उस टीचर से गलती नहीं हो सकती, हो भी सकती है. Maybe there's a chance. अगर सिर्फ एक कंप्लेन है, that's okay. You can keep a little observation on the teacher. Maybe or she doesn't do it again. If they're not doing it again, it's fine. But if a teacher is getting again and again complaints, you need to talk to the teacher. You need to tell them anonymously that students are coming and complaining about it. Now you are under observation. It's not a threat. It's nothing. Sometimes anonymously, randomly, we can come and sit in your class. We'll just see what is happening. Random rounds. And I think a teacher should not be threatened by it. Your job description says that you are there to deliver knowledge. And if someone says, okay, randomly, I just want to pop up in your class just to see what's happening, it shouldn't be a threat. And as an administration role, you should be sometimes you take around, you see what's going on. Even if someone class is not studying, they're having fun, be a part of it, what's happening, things like that, ताकि कोई भी पता चले who teachers are more creative, who teachers are not, कौन ज़्यादा free है, कौन ज़्यादा नहीं है, you need to keep that limits also.
Okay. Tuba, in one of the shows that I was a participant in, one of the government minister said कि जी in harassments को रोकने का एक अच्छा तरीका ये है कि in a girls' school there shouldn't be a male teacher. Do you think that's the solution to this problem?
Not at all. Who says only male teachers do the harassment? Female teachers
Thank
do
you for
it.
saying it.
Female teachers do it all the time because they have this leverage of being a female. They think it's easier for them to do it and get out of it. But actually, because in this teaching field, there are more females, percentages of female harassers are more than males. So I think it's not a solution at all. And I think it's more about, it's not about gender, it's about the subject delivery. And I believe if a teacher is not just there to deliver the subject, it's part of the personality. I wouldn't have grown if I wouldn't have studied with both the genders. It's about how you communicate. I learned to communicate with men and women both because of my both type of genders in the school. So it's, आपकी growth stunt हो जाती है. When you work in a workplace, will you find a workplace where only female workers are there? You can't do that. You need to expose them in an environment where there are male teachers, female teachers, and male teachers are great. It's just that, again, coming to the administration point of view, that if they know, हमारे मुल्क में कितने laws हैं, मगर still crime rate high है. क्यों? Because they know कि उनको पकड़ा नहीं जाएगा, कोई सजा नहीं होगी. यही बात है. Laws बना दिए जाते हैं, policies बना दी जाती है, मगर कोई यहाँ पे वो भी तो एक concept है, teachers favorite, वो principals favorite हैं, तो वो उसके reference से आए थे, तो अब तो मेरा कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता है क्योंकि मैं तो प्रिंसिपल का दोस्त हूँ, तो इस वजह से लोग निकल जाते हैं. और या फिर मैं तो इतना फेमस टीचर हूँ, मैं मार्केट में इतना फेमस हूँ, मेरी वजह से स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं, स्कूल मुझे कुछ नहीं कर सकता. जब ये सोच आ जाती है, then it becomes easier for them to get out of the situation.
Is there some way of when you are interviewing somebody, when you are in the process of this hiring, is there a way of saying कि ये teacher can be a threat to the students? वो एक और point है, हम हमेशा harassment लड़कियों के साथ tally करते हैं. It's not that. हम harassment is all. So is there some way of knowing कि ये शख्स शायद चाहे मेल चाहे फीमेल शायद
Hello. Hello.
I think that, yes,
Hello,
Tuba,
yeah.
can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Did you hear my question?
Can you repeat that? It
All
was,
right. My question was that, there is a process of hiring somebody. So school management sees the principal or the HR sees the content, the degree, the experience, the expertise. But there need to be some signs of knowing that this particular teacher is going to be a safe teacher. He is not going to become a threat for the students. कोई ऐसे signs हैं जो अगर मैं hire कर रही हूँ किसी को तो I should be knowing about those signs ताकि मुझे लगे नहीं यार ये बंदा थोड़ा सही नहीं होगा कितना ही popular क्यों ना हो कितना ही बड़ा नाम क्यों ना हो I wouldn't want him with my students. So I would like to for you to expand on this.
If we are talking about personalities of people who harass, they are usually very intelligent. They have a very, they know how to carry themselves. So it's very difficult when you meet them to know who has this potential or not. But yes, there are ways. For instance, if someone comes in the interview, before shortlisting, there are many ways in which you can have a survey around that if they have taught in different places, what was the feedback of their teachers, their students, all of that. You should always ask for references. And then there are some psychological assessment tools also. For instance, if there's an interview, you can ask a psychologist to sit in a panel, or a professional to sit in with you to study the body language, do some psychological assessment while interviewing it. So it gives a little hint. For instance, sometimes there are some indirect questions in which a person won't even know what they are answering about, but they get the unconscious mind about if they are very stubborn, if they are, it doesn't mean that all stubborn people are going to be harassers. But in teaching field, if you are stubborn, it's going to be a blockage with your teaching capabilities. Because I'm not saying that being authoritative is going to be wrong. I have seen many authoritative teachers still being emotionally available to the students. And I've seen very friendly teachers being emotionally available to the students. But sometimes when you're stubborn, for instance, if a student tells me, Miss, I think you have said this wrong. In the book, it's written like this. Some teachers are going to take it as a threat. They're going to say, no, how dare you say that? But as a teacher, oh, thank you so much for correcting that. See, you were an attentive learner. Thank you. And is tarike se, or maybe if they have asked a question and in return, if you say you don't know, it doesn't mean you are going to become a less of a teacher. Just say, let me research upon it. Let me get back to you. जो stubborn personalities होती हैं, उनमें ये सब qualities नहीं होती. So being, flexible, being a little emotional available, ये चीजें तो पता चल सकती हैं. But harassments की capability है कि नहीं, ये आपको references, experience से पता चल सकता है.
Right. So that means that we have to be very careful and then remain vigilant about this. Tuba, in the past few years, what we have seen is that when a child is harassed, not just by body shaming or something, when they are sexually harassed, when they are actually seriously threatened, they become scared. They don't want to go to anyone, especially the parents. What is the role? And I'm talking about teenagers. What is the role of parents in this situation? How should they communicate with the child so that the child have a level of trust and can speak about it? So and so has made me very uncomfortable. मुझे उनके साथ बैठ के बात करना अच्छा नहीं लगता. मुझे उनकी क्लास में नहीं अच्छा लगता. क्योंकि सबसे पहले very honestly बच्चा अपनी माँ से या अपने बाप से ये बात करना चाहता है. But sadly in these years we have seen कि harassment वहाँ पहुँच जाती है जहाँ बच्चा बहुत परेशान हो जाता है. How of both the parents in this situation?
The problem here is that if a child is being harassed by a teacher, they usually get a threat for not clearing the paper, for not passing them, for not giving the grade, writing the wrong recommendation, or you won't get into this university, things like that. उनको threat करते हैं, so of course एक बच्चा डर जाता है. For instance, as a parent, if I speak for myself, I would immediately know if my child is behaving differently. And if my child is under stress or if my child is being paranoid, I would know that immediately. And if my child is behaving differently and I talk to him or her and they are not responding, then I need to connect with school also. Maybe there's someone in school who might, talk through them. Maybe if the child isn't comfortable, someone at home, or maybe a relative, someone who he's close to or she's close to. But again, I will definitely connect with the school after seeing many days. If there are particular complaints he's saying, I would report to school as a parent. I think I have lost Miss Naila. Hello?
Sorry, Tuba, I think we lost connection for a while.
Okay.
We are just
Hear
getting
what I
back.
said, or was it going live?
No, I couldn't understand whatever you were saying. If you can just repeat it for me,
I
please.
was just saying that, for instance, as a parent, if I'll say, I would immediately notice some, different patterns in behavior of my child. If he's sleeping more, if he's avoiding, if he doesn't want to talk, if he's complaining, if he's more isolated, I would see that. And if that repeats for many days, I will definitely report to school. I will do ask the administration if the child is more closer to some teacher, or if a child is more closer to some kind of someone from the admin, and if they can talk through the child. So then it becomes, maybe the child will feel safer. And I think it's nowadays the schools have started keeping a behavioral psychologist, or kind of a psychologist on board, that maybe a child would report to them and then school will डील इट. क्योंकि बच्चे फिर समझते हैं कि अगर मैं स्कूल में किसी को बताऊंगा तो मेरी फाइल में चला जाएगा, मेरी प्रोफाइल में ऐड हो जाएगा, टीचर मुझे कुछ कह देगा. बट कीपिंग अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट ऑन बोर्ड हेल्प्स देम टू वेंट without feeling judged and without being scared. But as a parent, अगर मुझे ये लग रहा है तो मैं definitely they should report to school without any doubt.
I think it's very important that the channel of communication between the parents and the school administration should be a very open.
Yes.
Hierarchy there. Because
Yes.
If a parent has a concern or a complaint, we should not take it as a negative or as a judgment.
And vice versa. Even if a school has a concern, and usually yes, parents take it as a threat. I remember whenever I'm in a parent-teacher meeting and I tell them, there's a decline in the performance, they take it as a threat. What are you trying to say? We are doing something wrong with the child. So as a parent, you shouldn't take it as a threat. And again, as an educationist, you should not take it as a threat.
As a mother, yeah, as a father, yeah, as a teacher or as a school head, common goal same रहता है, and that common goal is the child. अगर उसकी well-being, क्योंकि what I personally believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, कि learning, teaching is a process जिसमें सबसे important element बच्चे की well-being है.
Yeah.
और वो well-being so important that if a child is not mentally happy, is not physically happy, he would not learn. And if the same case is vice versa, if the teacher is not happy, he would not be able to teach well. So ये communication open रहनी चाहिए. So I think मेरा ये personal perspective है कि schools have to work very closely with the parents. A very sad situation is कि हम जितने भी schools हैं जिसको हम modern educational institutes कहते हैं, वहां पर चाइल्ड प्रोटेक्शन कमिटीज होती हैं, वहां पे साइकोलॉजिस्ट्स होते हैं, वहां पे हेड्स भी ये सारी ट्रेनिंग लेकर हेड्स बनते हैं. वहां पर उसके बावजूद ये प्रॉब्लम्स अगर हो रही हैं. एक स्कूल में कुछ बच्चों ने बात की, वो स्कूल बहुत ज्यादा उसका को हमने प्रमोट कर दिया, बट प्रॉब्लम अपनी जगह है. वी कांट कीप आवर आईज शट थिंकिंग कि ये वन ऑफ सिचुएशन थी. इस सिचुएशन को डील करने के लिए कोई एक वन सॉल्यूशन चीज नहीं होगी, वन स्टेप सोल्यूशन जैसे हम कहते हैं वो नहीं होगी. सो व्हाट आर दोस थिंग्स दैट वी कॉन्शियसली नीड टू डू सो दैट आवर चिल्ड्रन एक्चुअली आर इन अ सेफ एनवायरनमेंट एंड ऑल्सो आवर टीचर्स. क्योंकि आई कीप सेइंग आवर टीचर्स, क्योंकि मैंने पिछले कई दिनों से काफी दफा मैंने इस चीज को देखा है कि बच्चे भी किसी ना किसी रीजन की वजह से अपने टीचर को ब्लेम कर देते हैं और वो बेचारा टीचर भी फिर उसमें बहुत सारी नेगेटिविटी में चला जाता है. किस तरह से इन चीजों को हम काउंटर करें, किस तरह से हम इन जगहों से ये इन मसाइल को खत्म करने की कोशिश करें? हाउ डू वी डू दैट?
बीइंग रियलिस्टिक खत्म बिल्कुल करना एक अनरियलिस्टिक बात है. ऑफ कोर्स वी कैन मिनिमाइज इट टू अ लेवल वेयर इफ समथिंग हैपेंस इट कैन बी रिपोर्टेड इजीली. दैट इज द रियलिस्टिक गोल. I think education systems here are अगर हम renowned education systems की बात करें, वो schools जो के जिनका नाम popular होता है कुछ, तो usually उनके साथ ये हो जाता है कि they are so protective of their school's name that they don't focus much on the teachers and the students. So here when policies are revived and keep reviving every year, they would know okay what are the different ways that the student can be harassed. Sometimes हमें लगता है कि पिछले 5 साल पहले ऐसे हुआ था, अब देखो ऐसे नहीं हो रहा, क्योंकि और भी बहुत सारे तरीके हैं, आप उस पर फोकस ही नहीं कर रहे. तो अगर हम हर साल रिवाइव करें, कीपिंग द लॉज इन माइंड, कीपिंग आप किसी लॉयर से कंसल्ट करें, प्रोफेशनल से कंसल्ट करें, आप पॉलिसी रिवाइव करें, आप टीचर्स के साथ बाकायदा एक मीटिंग करें जस्ट विद द पॉलिसीज अबाउट हरासमेंट, कि दिस इज द पॉलिसीज अबाउट हरासमेंट व्हिच विल प्रोटेक्ट यू एंड द चाइल्ड एज वेल. इस तरीके से वो क्या आइडियाज हो सकते हैं, वो क्या टिप्स हो सकती हैं. कीपिंग, अगर आपको स्कूल के बाहर भी बच्चों से कांटेक्ट रखना है, कीप इट फ्रॉम द स्कूल ईमेल आईडी, डोंट यूज एनी काइंड ऑफ अ सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म टू कनेक्ट विद देम. In the end, even though they are very close to you, you are the best teacher they know, you are their teacher, you are not their friends. So you need to understand that. Yeah, there's this very thin fine line. Jahan cross hota hai, to phir the teacher gets into trouble. Then it becomes very easier for even the child to take advantage of the teacher. Yeah.
जो फाइन लाइन है वो स्कूल को, एज आई से कि ऑल दीज बिग नेम्स, वो सारे नाम होते हैं, वो चाहे मेरे कॉलेज का नाम हो या किसी भी XYZ कॉलेज का नाम हो, दीज आर ऑल नेम्स. हम लेकिन पहले अगर जब तक हम अपने बच्चे को सेफ नहीं करेंगे, जब तक अपने टीचर को सेफ नहीं करेंगे, हमारा ब्रांड जो है वो घाटे का सौदा होगा. इट वुड नेवर कम टू दैट लेवल जहां पर हम उसको ब्रांड कहते हैं. सो इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट कि these policies are, as you said, revived every year, and everyone is on board and they all need to be part of that. So यहाँ पे administration का role, policy makers का role बहुत ज़्यादा important हो जाता है. What is it that you would like to give as an advice to the parents especially, क्योंकि पेरेंट परेशान होते हैं, बच्चों को भेजते हैं, कोई स्कूल में नहीं पढ़ाना चाहते कि लड़कियों को या इवन लड़कों को, सोचते हैं कि ऑल बॉयज स्कूल में बच्चा सेफ रहेगा. सैडली ऐसा नहीं होता. ऑल गर्ल्स स्कूल में बच्चियां सेफ रहेंगी. सैडली ऐसा नहीं होता. सो व्हाट आर दोस थिंग्स दैट यू वुड लाइक टू गिव एज एन एडवाइस टू द पेरेंट्स कि ये चीजें देख लें so that the child remains safe, and also to the school management and administration, that these are the factors that we need to keep under consideration so that things are very smooth. And children, as you said, these things will always happen, but then they should not go to the limit jahan pe मामला हाथ से निकल जाए, जैसे उर्दू में कहते हैं पानी सर से जाए.
बिल्कुल. अच्छा, सबसे पहले तो ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट होता है यूजुअली यहाँ पे पेरेंट्स का कि हम सेम जेंडर स्कूल जहाँ टीचर्स भी सेम जेंडर के वो डालें बिकॉज दे फील कि दे विल बी मोर प्रोटेक्टेड. अगेन इट्स अ मिथ. They're never protected anywhere if they're outside. Your training at home should be so strong. If you're doing it for a religious point of view, I don't want to jump into that. That's a very different debate.
That's another.
But keeping in mind that you are just sending them to a same gender school because you feel co-education is more threatening, not at all. I feel that same gender is more threatening. This is what I feel. The researchers have shown that. Threatening as emotionally, mentally, physically. Mentally, how the child doesn't grow that much cognitively and executively जितना वो co-education में पढ़ता है, because उसको हर तरीके के लोगों से deal करना आ जाता है. Coming back to the root, home, that is where the child should know that no matter what happens when I'm outside, not just school, anywhere, if something goes wrong, either because of me or my friend or someone else, I need to go and tell it at home because my parents are going to trust me, they are going to protect me, they are going to listen to me. यहाँ पे ये होता है कि जब हम घर जाते हैं और बच्चा माँ बाप से बताना चाहता है, एक तो वो उस पर ट्रस्ट नहीं करते, कहते नहीं ये खामखा की बातें हैं, तुम्हें स्कूल नहीं जाना, तुम झूठ बोल रहे हो, तुम्हें पढ़ना नहीं है, तुम हमेशा बहाने ढूंढते हो ना, चीजें लाइक दैट जो आप ट्रस्ट नहीं करते. तो वहाँ कम्युनिकेशन और रिलेशनशिप, जैसे आपने कहा था कि कम्युनिकेशन एट होम इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ऑफ कोर्स इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड पेरेंट्स आर, इफ दे आर सेंडिंग टू एनी इंस्टीट्यूट, keep a very very strong eye in the behavior point of view. उस बच्चे से बात करते रहे, how was the day, वो आपको खुद बताएगा, उसको पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि उसने अपने concerns आपको बता दिए. And then trust the teachers also at some level. Do them. आप मिलते रहें, आपको पता होगा कौन सा teacher is trustworthy, कौन सा इतना नहीं. If the principal or the administrative people are, you know, if अगर ज़्यादा अच्छे rapport बनती है with the administration, parents feel more strong. Parents feel more part of the community than just okay, it's parents versus teacher or parents versus school. We need to understand from both point of view that we are working together for the benefit of the child. It's not you and me, it's us for them. That yes. I think यहाँ पे एक war छिड़ जाती है जिसकी जरूरत भी नहीं है, और यहाँ पे ये हो जाता है.
True. Tuba, इम्पोर्टेंट है कि वॉर ना हो, इम्पोर्टेंट है कि कॉमन गोल पे काम करें, इम्पोर्टेंट है कि बजाय इसके कि हम उस पॉइंट पर जहां हमें लगता है कि द चाइल्ड इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट पर्सन एंड वी नीड टू ट्रस्ट एंड लिसन टू देम, वहां पर अगर हम सुन लें उस बच्चे की एक बात, तो वील गेट टू नो कि इफ प्रॉब्लम्स आर अकरिंग, इफ वी नीड टू इंटरवीन, इफ वी नीड टू लेट इट गो. सो दोज आर so important things.
Even when the policies, for instance, are made, have, first of all, when you are as an administrator, you feel like it's a very concrete, good policy, particularly about harassment. First, talk to your staff. Have their say in this also. Maybe they want to add something. Maybe they want to remove something. Have a debate on it. When it's concrete and everybody from the school is agreeing on that, share it with parents. Share it with students. Students should know, okay, if something goes wrong and if I am doing something wrong with a teacher, what is the consequence? If I am harassed by a teacher, who can I go to? Parents feel more secure. Email them. They would have a document. Okay, school has worked on it. My child is safe. If I feel like my child is having this, I need to go to that person who is responsible or who's the first one who will take the presenting complaint. And you know, all of that. So is tarike se bhi, it's a good tip in which everybody is on the same board.
This would actually make schools a safe zone, safe haven for the children. Or teaching and learning will actually become more productive and more beneficial for everyone. I think we all need to understand this one very simple rule, that line of communication is important. That communication, trust, accountability, all of these things are the most important things that we need to put in place. Policies बनाइए, policies को revise कीजिए, policies को implement कीजिए. Don't just make them for the sake of making them. Tuba, thank you so much. It was a very informative discussion that we had. I am extremely grateful because I personally feel that if there is a school, we may not be able to finish the harassment completely, but at least we need to take very serious step towards eliminating it as much as possible. So I'm extremely grateful to you for giving me this time of yours. I know I take weekends away from you people when I do it in the night on a Saturday, but thank you so much. Thank you, dear audience, for being a part of us. I will leave you people with this message. Please trust your children, parents. Schools, please ensure that you talk to your teachers, that you keep an open door policy for the students, for the teachers to come in, because harassment एक जगह नहीं होती, harassment कई channels से होती है, harassment के कई तरीके होते हैं. Listen, administration का काम सिर्फ policies बनाना नहीं है, implement करना भी है. With this, I will sign off with thanking you again, Tuba. This is Naila Abdi signing off from the platform of Riza School and College. See you next Saturday with another episode. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz, Tuba.
Allah Hafiz.